perform an adductor stretch or an inner thigh stretch, we're going to go ahead and get into a wide position, and then we're going to go ahead with a shift to one side, try to put our weight onto the bent leg here, and then we're going to drive the straight leg down to the ground, trying to contract this muscle even though we're stretching it, and then we'll sink into this position here. And we can work side to side. We're going to go ahead and hold if we need the hold. Spend as much time as you need in that position, and then we can open up and get a little bit wider into this position. Just go where you are comfortable, where you're feeling that stretch, and where you can manage your core position. So good brace as we go into that. We can get pretty deep into this stretch. Just hang out, start to rotate that leg. This will take some time to develop that range of motion here, but we can get that if we continue to practice and work through this with good intention, creating tension in this leg while we're stretching it. To stretch the glute, we'll go ahead and start standing nice and tall, bracing in the abs, and then with the stance leg, we want to make sure that we engage so we don't bend the knees. We want to squeeze the front of the thigh, keeping that nice and straight all the way through. And then we're going to pull up as high as we can with the hip flexor, front of the thigh, and then we're going to go ahead and just place our hands on the front of the knee and get a little bit of extra range of motion by pulling up my knee towards the chest. After we do that, we can go into a bit of a rotation stretch here. So bringing the knee up and then twisting, and then we can pull on that, getting more of the side part of the hip here, and then we'll hold. We can also hit the side part of the glute from a crossover position. So we'll cross over, trying to get the feet parallel here. We're going to forward fold and then reaching away from the back leg. So my right leg is out back. I'm going to reach off to my left, and then I'm going to get a nice stretch down the side part of the hip. It's important to note here, I like to make sure we get that forward fold, getting all the way down first, then going for the rotation. Sometimes you might feel like you're getting enough stretch here, and you don't even need to go for that rotation. Ease your way into it. To stretch the calves, we'll go ahead and start facing a wall or a solid object. We'll place both hands on the object, and then we're going to go ahead and make sure that the foot is pointed straight ahead, pinky toe is forward, and then we're just pull the hip forward by squeezing in the glute. We're going to be squeezing in the quad to keep the knee straight, and we should feel a nice stretch at the bottom of our leg on the back side. Go ahead and hold until that starts to release for us. And we're going to go into our hamstring stretch. The hamstring stretch, we'll go ahead and place the leg up onto an elevated object. We're going to rotate the ankle back, pulling the toes towards the shins, and then we're going to just twist to the side. As we twist, we'll start to feel this a little bit more behind the knee and the side portion of the knee. And then we can work through some flexion as well. Get a little bit more medial hamstring or in the middle here. We'll make sure that the toes pull back and we're squeezing the quad to keep the knee nice and straight. And then we'll hang out in either one of those. Next we'll go into our quadricep and hip flexor stretch. So this is going to stretch from the knee all the way to the front of the hip. We want to make sure that we're nice and level here, squeezing in the glute and the hamstring, keeping our abs engaged. And then if we want to add a little bit to this, we can get some reach with the same side arm that we're stretching. And then we can even get a little lateral flexion, just get a little lean off to the side. Big opening through the hip flexor and a little bit into the side abs here. And then we're going to go ahead into a chest stretch next. Take a band here. I'm just going to pull across, engaging in the shoulder blades in the middle of the back. And then we're just going to open up, going overhead. Anywhere in this you can pause. If you find yourself to feel a lot of stretch at the top, go ahead and hang out here. You might feel more of a stretch here. Anywhere in that line, we'll go ahead and just hang out there. And then go into the lats stretch next. We can go off of a ball or box here. I'm going to use the box in this case. And then just going to put one hand on the ground that's going to support my torso, and then I'm going to go ahead and reach out as much as I can over the box, and then I'm going to just reach across the midline here. And I'll show you from this side. Reach across the midline, I'll start to feel this stretch there. Just breathe nice and deep. Once you feel like it's relaxed for you, we'll go ahead through some thoracic rotation. There's a stretch between the shoulder blades here. Twisting just in the middle of the back. And then we'll get a little stretch in the chest as we twist here. And we'll work this action. Big exhale as we pull into this position. Inhale in the middle. And then another big exhale as you reach to the top. All the while, with this arm here, I'm driving down from the rib cage to help support the shoulder. Holding good tension there, and then holding good tension in the abs. The thoracic extension stretch is a great way to open up the middle of your back and just combat some of that forward shoulder posture from sitting throughout the day. So what we'll do is we'll take the hands, we'll place them behind the head, bringing the elbows forward. We're gonna get a nice brace in the abs, then we're just gonna tip straight on back, just trying to tip in the middle of the back here. All the while, I'm gonna try to keep pulling down at the ribs, so I don't wanna end up in a big arch position in the back. Need to work through the abs here to avoid bending or arching the back.